You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Max Darrow. Here's a look at our news headlines of the day. San Leandro police are looking for a suspect after an armed robbery at a gas station turned into a police chase yesterday afternoon. Police say the suspect robbed the customer at gunpoint at the Shell station on Davis Street. Officers spotted the suspect's car as it drove away from the scene. A chase began, but officers lost the suspect once they reached Oakland. The car was later found abandoned at Aqua Vista Street and High Street. BART delays are expected in the East Bay today. The railway is reducing service to a single track between the downtown Berkeley and El Cerrito Plaza stations. This is to allow space for workers in Albany to trim vegetation near the tracks. Passengers should expect delays of up to 25 minutes until about 8 o'clock tonight. Also of note, there is no Red Line service today at all between Richmond and SFO. Oakland Unified says it must cut $90 million in 2 years or risk a county takeover. Parents say previous cuts already hurt programs like tutoring and sports. They fear that more cuts will only make things worse. One board member blames COVID-era overspending. Another says the board failed to act sooner. The district plans to have several budget meetings over the next 10 days before finalizing decisions. After nearly 3 years, the Bolinas Post Office will reopen tomorrow at its original Brighton Avenue location. It closed in 2022 after a lease dispute. People were forced to pick up mail in Stinson Beach. Starting tomorrow, P.O. Box holders can get their mail locally, but they do have to present a photo ID so they can pick up new keys. The 49ers are looking for win number 4 on the season today. They host the Jacksonville Jaguars at Levi's this afternoon. They are 3-0. Brock Purdy is returning as the starting quarterback after missing the previous 2 games with a toe injury. You'll be able to catch all of the highlights tonight on game day. Plenty happening on this Sunday across the Bay Area. Let's get a check of our weather with First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz.
It's going to be a great day to spend outdoors if you want to soak up some sunshine and comfortable heat today because, hey, mid to upper 70s this time of year, that is nice across our inland communities and down into the Santa Clara Valley. For areas by the bay and across our North Bay, mid to lower 70s. And directly along the coast with a good amount of cloud coverage and that marine layer holding on tight, those temperatures are going to stay in the mid 60s. But overall, I highly suggest enjoying today with a good amount of cloud coverage and sunshine because by tomorrow, there is going to be some changes on the way. It is going to be slightly cooler across parts of the Bay Area, slightly warmer across other parts. In fact, coastal communities upper 60s tomorrow, while our inland areas low 70s. So those microclimates not in full force tomorrow afternoon because everybody is going to be seeing windier weather, cloudier weather, and the potential for rain as a very large storm system is going to be heading our way in just about 24 hours from now. So yes, we are going to be seeing a lot more cloud coverage and big changes that are going to stick around through the midweek as this large swirling massive cloud coverage, that's what's going to be heading our way Monday and Wednesday. So in fact, this first little wave of clouds is going to be heading our way tomorrow evening. Let's take a look at the futurecast and kind of show you what we're expecting. The first line of rain is kind of going to dissipate before it even hits us. And that will be Monday evening. And that second line of rain will arrive on Wednesday. And the second line of rain on Wednesday does look like it should be a bit more wetting and potentially a bit heavier than the rain on Monday. So keep that in mind. The midweek rain could potentially be a bit more impactful. But the rain that we're going to be seeing Monday, again, is going to be arriving later in the day. A few isolated sprinkles earlier, but it's not until the afternoon and early evening hours that we're expecting this frontal boundary to officially move over the area. North Bay communities are going to be seeing the heaviest rain, I would say between 3 and 6. And then that rain kind of begins to weaken as it pushes inland. Still, over our Santa Cruz Mountains and closer to our coastal communities, there is going to be the potential for some heavier rainfall as well. That will continue to kind of dissipate as we step out late Monday and into Tuesday. Tuesday, it should be mostly dry day, a few peaks of sunshine as well, before more rain heads our way late Tuesday and into Wednesday. And again, Wednesday's rainfall could potentially be even heavier and even stronger than what we're expecting on Monday. So keep that in mind. We are going to be seeing quite a lot of active weather on the way. It's not just Monday. It's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Although Tuesday, it's going to be that kind of transition day before that heavier rain arrives Wednesday. And then we'll be seeing a lot more sunshine, a lot warmer weather by the later parts of the upcoming weekend. By next weekend, when a lot of us have outdoor plans, it's going to be lovely out there. So Mother Nature has honestly timed this pretty perfectly when it comes to our weather. we need the rain this time of year because this is normally our wildfire season. Normally it's really dry and really hot. So any rain and moisture that we could take is a good thing. It comes along with cooler weather though, so please keep that in mind if you have any outdoor plans. Today, no rainfall, but it is going to be a bit cooler. By tomorrow, that's when the rain will arrive. A brief break Tuesday again, and then Wednesday more rain. Keep those umbrellas handy just in case through the midweek, and then you should put them away just in time for Fleet Week next weekend.
We begin with the fight to save Bay Area mass transit. Huge budget problems are threatening the services that so many people rely on. Muni is facing a deficit of $320 million that could grow to $430 by 2020. BART is expecting a $400 million shortfall by 2027. Caltrain, $75 million in the red between fiscal years 2027 and 35. So the CEOs of BART, Caltrain, and Muni all hopped on board a BART train at the 19th Street Station in Oakland on Friday afternoon. They joined leaders of other Bay Area transit systems for a trip around the Bay to promote Transit Month. I took a ride on public transit with a regular rider to get their take on solutions and what is at stake. Another day, another ride on Muni for Maria Meyer. She's a regular public transit user who's rode the bus for
over 50 years.
She is not associated with any transit advocacy groups. Her honest take on public transit right now:
it's working really well for me.
She says based on what she sees, regular ridership must be improving.
More people are going to work downtown, and I see more people on the buses.
She is correct. Ridership is recovering for Muni and public transit systems across the board, but it's happening slowly. SFMTA data shows Muni's average weekday ridership in June was at about 482,000 people. That's about 68% of pre-pandemic ridership. BART just saw its best August since before the pandemic and is on track for an even better September, but ridership is still only at about 45% of where it was before COVID. Caltrain's August ridership increased by 61.5% from last August, but is still only at 55.9% of pre-pandemic figures. Something Meyer thinks would help get more people on board.
Maybe the different agencies need to communicate better to make one system that all of which support one another better.
According to BART spokesperson Alicia Trost, that is beginning to happen in ways it hasn't before.
Every transit system is working together, not as separate agencies, but finally as one network where we're syncing our schedules. We're talking about the rider experience so that when you go from one system to the next, it's that easy transfer. We need to act as one network now more than ever before, especially as we're asking for greater investments.
That message comes during Transit Month, a time to celebrate and encourage people to take public transit.
You've got your sticker. I do. So you get to pick.
Trost and other BART leaders spent a day giving out prizes to riders.
I'll take the plushies.
Awesome. Thank you for writing.
Meantime, agency leaders continue to urge Governor Gavin Newsom to sign SB 63, a $750 million lifeline to keep transit moving for the next few years until voters have the chance to weigh in on a 2026 tax measure that would help fund public transit. Kaylee O'Mark is with Seamless Bay Area. Jaime Valoria is with San Francisco Transit Riders. These are the two advocacy groups that came up with Transit Month.
We're really at an inflection point in our public transit system.
They argue that the Bay Area will be better off economically and environmentally with a stronger public transit system.
So it's really important that we not only protect the system we have, but improve it for riders so that we can attract more people to take the system.
If we don't fund transit soon, we're just going to take like 2-3 steps back. And it's going to be more expensive trying to bring us back to where we're at right now.
Like many, Meyer knows the road ahead for public transit isn't necessarily straightforward.
I'd like to see it expanded. I mean, I understand, you can't work with no money, but I do think it would be a kind of a false economy to pretend that it doesn't have a major impact on life.
Draw and play.
Ultimately, lawmakers and voters will have to decide which lane they think is best. Governor Newsom has until October 12th to sign or veto SB 63. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area on this Sunday, the bounce back from COVID was one of the slowest in the country. But now, as San Francisco speeds things up, we take a look at their work to help boost businesses. Plus, a new exhibit at the De Young Museum celebrating the Japanese art of manga. We'll take you inside and introduce you to an acclaimed artist who takes some inspiration from San Francisco.
I'd like to say that human beings always repeat the same things, always think about the same things.
Happy Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful day for any outdoor activities. Comfortable heat, mid-70s across our inland areas. That is nice for this time of year. By tomorrow, though, you notice a lot more cloud coverage and the potential for a few showers, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. A brief break on the activity on Tuesday before more rain heads our way by Wednesday. And Wednesday's round could actually be even stronger than Monday's round before much drier and much warmer weather heads our way by late next week. And just in time for next weekend, when a lot of us will have plans, you should be good to go. Luckily, again, Mother Nature has it timed out perfectly, but if you have any Monday or Wednesday plans, that's when I would suggest you grab that umbrella.
San Francisco has had a long reputation of letting red tape get in the way of progress. But now city leaders are highlighting their attempts to streamline the permitting process to make the city more business-friendly. There's one supervisor that's taking aim at certain rules that have prevented small businesses from opening new shops in the city. Kenny Choi explains what's on the line, and it all starts at a roastery in Berkeley.
Milana Ram has been tinkering with her coffee roast. When she does, she often thinks of her parents in India.
The motivation basically came from trying to save the family farm. But now, once we are in this, we are so passionate about the coffee.
She and her husband, Himanshu Baisare, studied and found jobs as software and electrical engineers. But it's hard to hide what they really want to do next.
The beans come from a small region called Chicana. It's in a southern mountain region of India.
They rent time at a roastery in Berkeley every couple weeks and are selling their product at farmers markets. But they hope to build their brand by opening a brick-and-mortar roastery and cafe in San Francisco where they live.
We were pretty much literally like one dot away from signing the lease agreement.
But North Beach permitting rules include a prior use requirement. That means a new coffee shop and roastery wouldn't be allowed to open at this spot on Lombard, which was once a dry cleaning business. Milana and her husband couldn't believe it.
I went to 2-3 more offices in the same department. Like, is this really true? Because it made no sense to me.
District 3 Supervisor Danny Sauter has introduced legislation to eliminate that prior use requirement, among other permitting rules.
It's things like that that are really frustrating, especially when we have someone who wants to bring their business to San Francisco, and we have all these barriers that are preventing them from opening up.
Sauter believes by loosening the restrictions, it will directly impact the number of vacant storefronts in North Beach.
We've already had about a dozen different small business owners reach out to us and tell us that without this legislation, they literally could not open what they want to open. They could not grow their existing business.
Milana and her husband haven't found a place yet.
I am extremely hopeful that the bill is going to get passed, new law is going to be in effect in a few months, and we will get our cafe on Lombard.
They believe they're a step closer to opening their first cafe and roastery and bringing Indian coffee from her parents' farm to the Bay.
The proposed ordinance would also allow businesses to merge storefronts and expand into an adjacent empty space more easily. The Board of Supervisors is expected to consider Sauter's legislation later this month. A much different sort of display from the other side of the world is debuting at the De Young Museum. The Art of Manga exhibition gives visitors an in-depth look at how Japanese artists have created some of the world's most popular stories. Lorene Ayub gives us a sneak peek.
Vibrant and familiar characters are on full display at the De Young Museum. The new Art of Manga exhibit is diving deep into Japanese graphic storytelling. Featured artist Mari Yamazaki blends history and heart in her work, shaped in part by her grandfather's ties to San Francisco.
It's my personal story that my grandfather lived here in San Francisco from 1915 to 1928. So he always talked about me happy life he got in San Francisco at the time.
Yamazaki's work draws from both the past and the present, offering a reflection on time, culture, and the human condition.
I'd like to say that human beings always repeat the same things, always think about the same things.
Visitors like Matthew Jin step into what feels like a living comic book, the very foundations of anime as we know it today.
Just walking through the Art of Manga exhibit in the De Young, it just felt like you were immersed in actually walking through a manga, like the actual pages, because there's architecture that seems like it's actually made out of paper and like animations.
The exhibit, the first of its kind on the West Coast, showcases manga's global impact. And Yamazaki says it's meaningful to have her work on display in such a creative city.
I think that it's thanks for the San Francisco that make me to become manga artist.
For Yamazaki, manga is more than ink on paper. It's a bridge between cultures and generations.
The exhibit officially opened to the public this weekend. It runs through January of 2026. Tickets are available on the De Young Fine Arts Museum's website. Still ahead, if you ever thought running was hard, take note from this little dog. Coming up next, we'll have more on that tiny racer that already has several marathons under her belt.
Someone came up to me and said, if she can do it, why can't I?
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
It's going to be a great day to get outdoors. I hope you can make today a Sunday fun day. Maybe head down to the beach, Monterey, Santa Cruz. It's going to be gorgeous out there. 72 in Monterey, 71 in Santa Cruz. There is going to be a few passing clouds out there, but still, these temperatures this time of year, it's comfortable. Maybe you head inland to Pinnacles National Park. Mid-70s. Again, that is so nice. For areas by the bay, we're going to be seeing also comfortable heat. It doesn't matter where you are, from Monterey all the way up to Point Reyes. They're going to be seeing those nice and comfortable temperatures. Inland areas are going to be sitting in the mid to upper 70s, along with down into the Santa Clara Valley. Areas by the bay are going to be sitting in the upper 60s to low 70s. And again, for this time of year, a couple of degrees below average, but it all depends on what you have planned today. Maybe you are lucky enough to be going to the Giants game. I'm jealous. You're going to be seeing those highs sitting in the upper 60s. And then maybe you want to head on farther south, see a little bit of a warmer game. Even then, Levi Stadium for the 49ers, 72 degrees. That's comfortable heat for this time of year. I hope you can enjoy yourself because by tomorrow, rain is on the way. Yeah, I'll let you know when you can expect it coming up in my full forecast.
Several Bay Area cities are hosting races this weekend. And as you can imagine, marathons in particular can be grueling and unforgiving. So Itai Had introduces us to an unlikely racer that's been getting a lot of smiles along the route.
Running a marathon takes grit, training, and heart. Andrew Owens has all three.
Got it.
But what sets him apart isn't his pace, it's his partner. Not this one, that one.
The minute she starts seeing the people, the loudspeaker, then she knows that something big's about to happen.
Meet Jellybean, 9 pounds of fur and fight, rescued from a shelter in Sacramento,
2, 1.
And now showing the marathon world who's top dog. She races alongside her dad Andrew and his girlfriend Melissa. Her warm-up, non-existent. Her carb load, dog treats. Her training plan, just keep going. And go she has. 7 marathons, 2 ultra marathons, and a personal best of 3 hours and 47 minutes. We caught up with her at the Berkeley Trail Adventure Run. Though caught up might be a bit of a stretch.
She's tiny. She doesn't look like a marathon runner.
What I've learned is marathon runners come in all shapes and sizes.
It all started when Andrew took her on short jogs and discovered she was born to run. Soon, this little Chihuahua was inspiring others.
Someone came up to me and said, if she can do it, why can't I?
We do see a growing trend.
Craig Schmidt, who runs Inside Trail Racing, says dog-friendly marathons are on the rise. But there's a catch.
Not every dog is good for a marathon.
Not every dog is good to go running. Not every dog is good to be out on the trails. So it's definitely a lot of training that goes into it.
After 5 hours and 28 minutes, Jelly Bean crosses the finish line.
She did it with ease. She's not even tired.
It's a reminder that winners aren't always the biggest or the strongest. Sometimes they come in packages as small and every bit as sweet as a jelly bean.
Still ahead in our next half hour on CBS News Bay Area. As we get deeper into football season, some parents of student athletes are holding their breath on the sidelines.
I'm concerned every time he takes a snap, every play he plays, I'm concerned something might happen.
The answers that some local scientists are hoping to get about head injuries and CTE, plus solar flares that can disrupt life for us right here on Earth, the mission that's underway to help learn more about them.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Max Darrow. Here's another look at some of our news headlines. San Leandro police are looking for a suspect after an armed robbery at a gas station turned into a police chase yesterday afternoon. Officers say the suspect robbed a customer at gunpoint at the Shell station on Davis Street. Police followed the getaway car into Oakland, but lost it. Later, they found that car abandoned near Aqua Vista and High Street. East Bay BART riders could face delays of up to 25 minutes today as trains share a single track between downtown Berkeley and El Cerrito Plaza. This move will let crews with BART trim vegetation that is growing near the tracks. Oakland Unified says it must cut $90 million in 2 years or risk a county takeover. The school district plans several budget meetings over the next 10 days. That'll include a public Zoom session tomorrow night from 5:30 until 8. A new study is underway that could help football players and other athletes who may be more at risk for concussions. UCSF researchers are studying the brains of more than 200 living former players for signs of CTE. Right now, a diagnosis can only be made post-mortem. Kenny Choi talked to a lead researcher and the parent of a student athlete about the findings.
Concussions and repetitive hard hits to the head are often on the minds of football parents watching from the sidelines.
I'm concerned every time he takes a snap, every play he plays, I'm concerned something might happen.
Stephen Perini's son plays for Alhambra High School in Martinez, where 2 players recently suffered head injuries during a game.
Seeing that and just the air leave the stadium impacted me. So I decided that it was time to take some action to better protect the kids out on the field.
Perini launched a GoFundMe effort to purchase Guardian caps to help minimize injuries for the entire team. With the football season underway, a groundbreaking study is taking place at UCSF. 225 former professional and college football players are taking part as researchers hope to one day be able to diagnose CTE in living people.
All these white spots here represent areas of scarring or damage to the brain.
Dr. Gil Rabinovich is a neurologist specializing in memory, aging, and neurodegenerative diseases.
One of the conditions that can cause these scars is repeated head trauma, repeated head impacts.
Rabinovich and researchers are aiming to develop reliable diagnostic tests while exploring factors that influence who develops CTE and why.
We've gotten there with Alzheimer's disease, so we know it's possible. In Alzheimer's disease in the last 20 years, we've developed brain scans and blood tests that can actually detect the brain changes years and years before people have the earliest signs of memory loss.
The new 5-year study is a continuation of a previous CTE trial. Researchers concluded it's the number of years played that's a better predictor of CTE than the number of concussions suffered.
There's all these other blows that don't cause concussions that are maybe contributing as much to the risk of developing CTE and later life neurological and psychiatric decline.
As leading researchers hope to one day detect and treat CTE in living people, football parents like Perini believe changes to the game have made it safer for his son to play.
I'm definitely not trying to stand in the way of him chasing his dreams, but I do want to make sure that he has the most protection possible.
He understands there's a certain amount of risk in any sport that's played.
According to UCSF, CTE can manifest in different ways in different people. It may lead to memory loss, trouble concentrating, and slurred speech. Other symptoms could include personality changes like mood swings and even violent outbursts. Researchers do hope to have a CTE diagnosis in living people by the time the study wraps up. A SpaceX rocket launched from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida with an important mission: to better understand solar storms, which can cause cell phone outages and other disruptions here on Earth.
3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go IMAP, go Swifo L.
The task will be up to these 3 satellites aboard that rocket you just saw take off. Brian Hackney is keeping an eye on the story, and so is a student from Foothill College.
So just close one eye, keep the other eye open, and take a look down. The filter makes it perfectly safe.
The sun can be exciting to watch.
Wow.
Student Andrea Zabala couldn't quite believe her eyes.
It's not the sun, is it?
It is the sun, right?
It is?
That's the that is the only thing bright enough to get through this filter, is the sun itself.
It's all part of the fun for Jeffrey Matthews.
Oh my God. Getting pointed right at the sun.
He's professor of astronomy at Foothill College.
Voila. Looks like we've got a bunch of small sunspots. One that's maybe about twice the size of Earth.
The focus is on sunspots, hotbeds of magnetic activity.
That same magnetic activity can trigger solar flares or coronal mass ejections, where it's basically like the sun can launch these giant balls of superheated gas off into space.
And when the flares are really huge,
the disruptions
would be epic.
Sobering. How about, let's go with sobering.
This morning, 6 million people across Quebec woke up to darkness and disbelief.
Big flares have shut down massive power grids, debilitated GPS, and once threatened an accidental nuclear war with Russia, all because of unpredictable behavior from the sun.
So we're going to be ever vigilant for the next several years for these really large explosive storms coming off the sun.
And liftoff. Go Falcon, go IMAP.
Much of that vigilance lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center on a Falcon 9 rocket Wednesday morning, carrying 3 satellites that will measure every aspect of the sun. And you must be excited. Are you excited about this launch?
Oh, exceptionally excited.
We are flying 3 new missions on a million-mile journey to track space weather.
Clinton Wallace heads up the Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, Colorado, where they monitor the sun for threatening activity. What is the satellite going to allow us to do that will help us mitigate some of those threats?
And it's going to allow us at the Space Weather Prediction Center to provide more timely and earlier warnings so that the power grid operators, they can take the protective measures, or for airlines to reroute aircraft as they're flying across the globe.
Here go for 119-1.
One more thing, astronauts will be on their way to the moon next year.
And they're going to be in that harsh environment of space. So if we're able to provide them with early, accurate information, they're able to inform the astronauts to take shelter within the spacecraft so we can protect the health of our astronauts.
Every solar cycle, the dice are being rolled for us. When it happens, right? It's not a question of if, it is just a question of when.
Scientists at UC Berkeley also are involved. They will be monitoring one of the 3 satellites that went up into space. Coming up next, wildfire smoke is getting more dangerous as world temperatures rise. We take a look at how people in the Bay Area are trying to keep the air clean. Plus, all across the country, service dogs do make things easier for owners. We'll talk to the woman who's credited with creating the idea of them. She hails from right here in the Bay Area.
What can we do to get them out and about on their own? And I just sat there and went, dogs. Dogs could do it.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
Now to Southern California, where the official report is out on the deadly Eaton and Palisades fires in LA County. An independent review is giving us insight into the apparent failures of the emergency response. While it did note that frontline responders acted, quote, decisively and in many cases heroically in the face of extraordinary conditions, it also highlighted several communication breakdowns, staffing shortages, and outdated and inadequate evacuation warnings. but it stopped short of assigning blame. The exact causes of these fires are still under investigation. The changing climate is fueling more frequent and intense wildfires like the ones in Los Angeles, and they're emitting an even more dangerous smoke into the air. In today's Project Earth, as one East Bay boy found out, there are steps you can take to harness your superpower against the growing threat.
8-year-old Nate likes a challenge and aims high. He's got big plans for the future.
I want to be a singer or artist and be in the army and an astronaut.
Another goal?
You're just like,
knowing how to keep his asthma under control.
all I say is, if you have asthma, try avoid pulling the trigger.
One big trigger, wildfire smoke, is posing a unique threat.
New research is showing that wildfire smoke might be especially toxic, especially dangerous form of air pollution.
Marshall Burke is a professor at Stanford University. He says as the climate continues to warm, expect more wildfires with a lot more smoke that contains all kinds of chemicals. Nearly 50 million homes in the U.S. are now located in or near forested areas, with millions more to be built.
Unfortunately, as wildfires burn into cities, what's in the smoke is often what's also in our houses. Wildfires burn up cars, they burn up what's under our sink or in our garages, and that can be really nasty stuff, again, that ends up in smoke that is then inhaled.
Add to that the ultrafine particles already found in smoke that can penetrate the lungs and enter the bloodstream. Burke's research projects that by 2050, smoke exposure alone will kill 70,000 people a year. That includes children, older adults, and those with lung disease.
Already a big number, likely to get bigger under future climate change.
To address the threat, Burke and his team created a free online tool, an interactive atlas.
So here we have the atlas up.
Zoom in or enter your address and learn about the wildfire smoke risk in your home. Soon the site will include what you can do to reduce that risk, including portable air filters.
Not everyone can afford a $200 air filter, so we need to make sure that people can access them.
That's where Dr. Tanya Piperly and Vivian Chang of Breathe California step in. The nonprofit serves 8 counties around the Bay Area. Part of their mission is to give air purifiers to those in need.
There are resources out there. We go out to community centers, and we also work with our partners to do a lot of education and bring awareness about this root cause that is climate change.
Breathe California offers other resources, including a free summer camp for kids with asthma, where they can learn to avoid triggers and use medicine.
We hope that they come out of camp just with the confidence and the knowledge that they need to stay safe at home, at school, and so they can take charge of their asthma.
Nate loved it. His dad knows that knowledge is power.
We can be more informed so that we can protect our kids and protect each other.
Perhaps the best kind of superpower as the climate continues to warm.
You can test out the Atlas by going to kpix.com. You can also learn more about Breathe California's Big Walkathon, which happened on Saturday. The concept of the modern-day service dog turns 50 years old this year. And it all started with a Sonoma County woman who has trained dogs to serve people from troubled youth to military veterans. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
She knows it. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Come here.
For Poppy, the service dog in training, many things are possible, according to Dr. Bonnie Bergen.
It's exceptional what these dogs are able to do. We brush their teeth.
Bonnie is the founder and president of Paws for Purple Hearts. The nonprofit trains dogs to support military veterans with mobility and mental health challenges.
I get distracted by her.
Bonnie shook up the idea of what canine companions could do back in 1975. She was a teacher who wanted to help people living with disabilities.
What can we do to get them out and about on their own? And I just sat there and I went, dogs. Dogs could do it.
She began training her own puppy, Abdul, to help a quadriplegic woman, Carrie Knaus, perform tasks like...
Okay, puppy, light. Yes, good girl.
Flip a light switch.
Get it?
and pick up keys off the floor. Nearly 100 commands became Bonnie's training template. In 1991, she founded what's now known as the Bergen College of Canine Studies, the first campus of its kind dedicated to training service dogs.
What?
Paws for Purple Hearts began as a Bergen College research project and became its own Sonoma County nonprofit in 2011 to help combat veterans find healing.
They help them love again. Trusting and loving are the two missing links that the dogs are so great at bringing back.
Tug?
Ralph Avalon found relief from PTSD, taking part in the nonprofit's signature therapy program, helping train dogs in a variety of tasks so they could become service dogs for other military veterans.
You can really be dragged down mentally, and working with the dogs just brought me a new sense of self and centered me.
Tug?
Ralph now volunteers training Poppy. She's one of 200 dogs that the nonprofit's deployed to touch the lives of more than 20,000 people. Paws for Purple Hearts has expanded from the Bay Area and California to Alaska, Texas, Virginia, and Washington. And even after its headquarters moved to Oregon last year, Bonnie, at age 80, still leads the pack. Brainstorming new ways for dogs to bring love and support.
When one of those kids, the child of one of those veterans, comes to us and turns to the dog and says, "Thank you for giving me my dad back," I think for all of us, that is, nothing could say it better. Puppy, turn.
So for training service dogs for 50 years, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Dr. Bonnie Bergen.
Well, it is called Paws for Purple Hearts. Veterans do not need to be Purple Heart recipients to take part in these free services. Bonnie says she'd like to expand to the Midwest and even the East Coast if they can significantly increase donations and grants. You can nominate a community hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner at kpix.com/icon. Coming up after the break, celebrating Chicano culture, strength, and style. We introduce you to a San Francisco artist sharing her unique lens on the city. Chicana artist Cecilia Perez is everywhere, collaborating with the San Francisco Giants, Sacramento Kings, and global clothing brands. And for the second season in a row, her artwork is featured in the Giants Artist Series, which celebrates the intersection between sports, art, and our Bay Area culture. Cecilia shared with our Mary Lee what inspires her and why it's so important to represent her Chicano culture.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having another. When you walk inside the San Francisco Giants dugout store, the first thing you see is Chicana artist Cecilia Perez's collection. Her artwork tells a story of San Francisco through the lens of a Chicana, through Cecilia's eyes. Her mission is to represent the Chicano culture she loves in the most positive way, and her work is resonating with fans. Her collection constantly sells out.
I have my first issued Giants merchandise. I have it as a little trophy up here.
I think what people love the most is the Chicano flavor that she's bringing in, and the colors and the bold. It's all very much quintessential Bay Area culture. When you see it, you know it. She has an incredible fan base, and just seeing everything through Cecilia's perspective is just beautiful.
Cecilia's work is an expression of who she is, a proud second-generation Chicana. Her work brings a Chicana perspective to a culture that she says is often told through the male lens. Her work embraces both masculine and feminine energies with old-school custom lowriders, while also featuring Chicanas at the center of her artwork, ultimately uplifting the female voice. It's edgy, heartfelt, and authentically her own.
I'm very proud and I'm very unapologetic when it comes to being a Chicana artist. My artwork speaks for itself, and my background growing up speaks for itself as well. And so I have no qualms whatsoever in just being myself. These cars are in our car club called Sin Nombre de Familia, and I incorporate our vehicles in a lot of my artworks.
This 53 Chevy is featured in Cecilia's collection for the San Francisco Giants Artist Series.
Lowriders, to me, are rolling pieces of artwork.
When she was first starting out, she says it was difficult, but giving up was never an option. For her, quitting meant giving up on her parents' hard work to give her a good life.
This painting right here is of my dad. I painted this right after he passed away. It was a means of artistic therapy for myself, so it really helped me cope with his loss.
Cecilia's father was an entrepreneur, journalist, musician, and activist who fought for Chicano representation in the United Farm Workers of America. Cesar Chavez himself asked Cecilia's dad and his band to perform at his father's funeral. Through Cecilia's artwork, she continues her father's legacy of activism.
Ultra proud. Cecilia's thought process and being able to encapsulate the Chicano lifestyle, has been prominent, of course, in her art, in large part due to our general upbringing.
Everything that I do is actually in his honor. The last really big milestone that I was able to achieve was him being able to see me throw the first pitch for the Giants last year. And so that was like a really big deal for me, and it felt like a movie ending.
Cecilia's artwork is a love letter to her family and community, celebrating Chicano style, strength, beauty, and resilience.
And be sure to watch our 30-minute special Una Familia, airing on October 16th at 7:30 p.m. Gianna Franco and Len Ramirez will be the hosts. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Max Darrow. We'll be right back with your first alert forecast and today's top stories.